Warning: the following podcast contains violent scenes that may be unsettling to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
The post-Civil War landscape of the American West offers escape and opportunities to many new immigrants who come to the country's shore. A few of them brave the journey to the camp town of Missouri Crossing, each looking for a new lease on life in the Dakota Territories. Join the settlers of Missouri Crossing, including Gregory Smith, played by Joaquin, Sister Margaret Miller, played by Monica, Bjorn Hagman, played by Chris, and Craig as the keeper of arcane lore, as we explore the horrors that await us on Down Darker Trails. So you spend the night basically preparing for the next morning, packing things into the wax canvas, which will go into the boats that you've been making with reeds. Does anybody have like a craft skill that they would like to put into use by chance?
Would blacksmith count?
Is it craft blacksmithing or?
It's art/craft.
How would you be using blacksmithing in like the construction of boats or preparations? Can you justify?
I don't know.
Maybe like an engineering type of way, like you know how to engineer stuff and shape stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, science engineering is his own skill, so.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I can't think of anything.
All right. Yeah, I was just on the off chance someone had like basket weaving.
Well, now that you mentioned, I got 85 in basket weaving. Let's go ahead and rock this.
But it's underwater basket weaving. That's the molten one.
Well, you actually want above water basket weaving for this one.
Damn.
But anyways, a lot of you spend the night in eager anticipation for the next day, just basically making preparations. So it's going to take several trips, but I would like to basically summarize them. Multiple river crossings with singular roles from each of you. So what do you guys see your main jobs being as you're doing the river crossings?
I see mine being the cattle, ensuring that the cattle are crossing. That's what I get paid for. And my son and I don't have that much stuff with us, so.
I think Gregory's main thing would be making sure the wagons with the personal like items in it would make it across the way and stuff.
I think Margaret perhaps would be in charge of the perishables. Well, not perishables, but foodstuffs, things like that, making sure they don't get wet and grow mold and then we have nothing to eat.
Okay, so we're going to do some rolls. Chris, you're going to make a ride horse roll to basically symbolize your efforts in doing the major cattle crossing. Gregory, you're going to do a drive wagon roll because you've actually have points in this, and I'm going to because of the suggestion to have like double teamed oxen, I'm going to give you a plus 20 on your roll. So, but Margaret, your idea is basically riding along and keeping the perishables from getting wet. You would be basically riding along in some of the boats that the natives have and basically keeping an eye on the goods. So yours will be a spot hidden roll to see if there's like hidden rapids.
So I made my roll a 41 out of 50.
I made my roll have 22 out of temporary 40.
I made mine 25 out of 55.
Well, that is very excellent news for everyone. Can I just get a single party luck roll? So what this is the person with the lowest luck will make a luck roll. So which of you has the lowest luck?
Not me. I got the highest.
Mine's 32. What's yours, Margaret? It's under the down.
Mine is 45.
All right. So then Chris will be making the single party luck roll.
All right. Did not make it.
You did not make it. I'm going to say that you cannot spend luck on a luck roll. Things mostly go well in the crossing. You get you have to take the crossing in several stages, and let's start. Gregory, you're driving almost empty wagons across most of the times, switching off with different oxen teams, and like there's a part where you notice that the oxen aren't on the ground anymore. They're struggling to kind of like keep their heads above water, and like there's a little bit where you think they're going to start to drown, but they kind of like put in a high gear, and with the four of them, they get to a spot where they can gasp breath again, and There's a bit of floating, but you manage to get most of the wagons across like undamaged, or any damage you get can be easily repaired. Margaret, you spend most of your time riding it in boats, and your keen eyes put the test many times as like different parts of the day there's different tides, even in rivers, but you're able to spot the changes in rapids in the crossing, and you're able to help some of your guides miss some of these changes, and you don't really lose any supplies, which is good. Bjorn, you're going across, and like you have to do the cattle drives in several different stages, but you get most of the cattle across pretty easily. There's a couple that can't quite make it, but when you're going across, trying to get the little cart with the kitchen equipment on it, one of the doors opens up, and like you see Bjorn kind of like rushing to kind of get like some of the like plates and cutlery as they're being washed away. So you kind of lose some of that, but you manage to double back and help him across because you did actually make your roll. And he kind of feels like a bit upset, like he failed.
Oh, my son did, John? Yeah. I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him when we cross. I just got to look at him, give him a reassuring look.
This does take a few days, and you gradually start to disassemble the Eastern Bank camp and set up another camp on the Western Bank, and reorganize and like redistribute the load into other wagons. And the natives take their payment of a few cattle and the items that you mentioned, and give word to Father Noss that to get to the place that you want to go, if you want to continue hugging the western bank of the Mississippi, you'll eventually hit a town called the Crosse, which was the town that they indicated earlier. And from there, you can move northwest till following the river till you hit the Twin Cities. And from there, it should just be a straight shot west.
Oh, indeed. Indeed. And I just kind of like sit there on my horse all ominous. Now just like
All right. Before you guys break camp, is there anything that you would like to do or make preparations for, or any scenes you'd like to have?
Gregory, Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
I kind of
What do you
ride up. I was thinking the other day, if my boy has time to get with you, and maybe you could like start instilling in him some of the things to prepare for during the ride, to prepare for when we get to the crossing. Is there any kind of I don't know if that's possible or not, but
Most of the stuff kind of requires that I have a forge set up, and at the time, it's all in the wagons. So unless we want to stop somewhere and start a fire, get a little chimney built up. So yeah, it's a lot of the stuff. It just maybe ask him to start working on his arm strength, because one thing you definitely need, unless you have like some of those fancy machines back east, is you need proper arm strength to be able to swing the hammer.
can I be honest with you, Gregory? Man to man?
What is it?
Listen, you know my boy, he doesn't have a mother no more. I don't have a wife. And
Right.
I know that when I get to the city there, I'm probably going to be very busy doing a lot of things, and I probably won't be able to, give him the attention that the boys do, not having two parents.
All
So
right.
what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to create relationships for him to learn things and life lessons. And, you're a hardworking man, and I've seen that, and I've gotten to know you, but I also know that you were in the war of yours there, the war that was civil, the Civil War.
Wasn't very much civil about it, but yeah, well, I was part of that. Yeah.
So my point being, to be honest, when I tell you that I was hoping that my boy could sit with you and get some lessons about the job skills, really hoping that he could pick your brain with you having been an American and having to fight for your country, and instill what I think would be make him a good American boy.
I see.
I should have been honest up front, and I apologize, Gregory, I wasn't. But
I understand. No man wants to ask another man to help raise his son.
Yes, exactly. And how do you come up to the subject? Hey, can you tell my boy about this war that wasn't civil? And I just got to smile at him,
All right. Well, yeah, I could probably have him ride with me for a few days. Just I'll talk to him about stuff.
Yeah, I see that he is so busy with the cook stuff and that, he beats himself up. And I just think maybe he's in his own head a little bit too much, Doesn't get to experience anything other than work.
Well, Well, I don't know. My father always kept me working busy when I was a child.
Oh.
I think
That's good. That's good. I mean, I like that. I just, want him to get to know the people that he's going to be spending his life around because we're all going to be living in a small town together.
right.
So,
So yeah, I'll see what I can do. Maybe get my boy to work with the kitchens or something. I don't know. Well, we'll see about. We can work something out with the cook and other people.
sounds good. Thank you again and for being such a good man, Gregory. And I stick out my hand for him to shake it.
Gregory takes it, and there's a little bit where he almost does the power squeeze, but he doesn't go too hard into it.
Yeah, for sure. It's probably like a bear claw, you know what I mean? Surrounding it. So, and before we continue on, I'm going to ride up to Sister Margaret Miller, whatever she may be doing.
I would say Sister Miller is probably folding her only other outfit that she's got when she sees Bjorn heading over, and she smiles and waves at him. Hello, Mr. Hagman. How are you?
Good. And I kind of I'm on my horse still. I don't have time to really, get off too much or whatever. I'm stopping there and I'm kind of controlling it with my reins. I'm so you're a couple of nights ago, you're asking about the situation with my boy and I and everything. It led me to thinking, and how would you feel about spending a little time every day talking to the boy, maybe giving him some kind of lessons that you may have learned, and just having a woman figure in his life who, asking you to be his mother or anything like that, but maybe trying to get him to come out of his shell and to be a proper, American. I haven't talked to Gregory, and maybe would you be willing to maybe just conversate with the boy?
Sister Margaret just looks at her feet for a second, and she's pressing her lips together and blushing, trying not to, think too much of it. But she nods very fast, repeatedly. Yes, Mr. Hagman, I would surely love to assist your son and you, of course, in any way I possibly could. Anything you'd like, I can help him with reading and, of course, the Lord's work. And her hands start shaking a little bit.
Do I notice this? See this reaction?
Psychology roll.
Yeah, I'm just kind of what? Did she have too much tea? Give me a second here. Oh, I did make it 4 out of 60.
So, Margaret, what would Bjorn be noticing about your character at this point, and what sort of impressions would she be giving off? Because that's actually, I'm not sure if that's an extreme success or not.
I don't know how extreme successes work.
It's the smallest number in the box.
I didn't put it on there, so it's 60. I don't know, but it's
1/5 would be
1/5. What's 1/5 of 60?
Well, it's on.
Yeah, so I made it. I did. I got a good success, a great success.
Yeah. Extreme success.
Extreme success.
So, Margaret, I'm going to let you explain what Bjorn might be picking up on.
Well, he can certainly see, or tell rather, right off the bat, that Margaret, when it comes to him at least, and the father, she's very good at keeping eye contact when she speaks, but she suddenly started looking at her feet, and kind of her hands got a little jittery. She's kind of fumbling a bit with her words when she's normally very clear spoken and concise. So at the very minimum, I'd say he's noticed that she's nervous in some sort of way. She's looking down to hide the fact that her cheeks are bright red at the moment, but he could definitely tell that she's very jittery when she's responding to him.
Are you all right, Sister Margaret? Something bothering you?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all, Mr. Hagman. I'm sorry. I think I had a bit too much tea.
Yeah. You and that tea. I got to get going, but thank you again, and I trust in your judgment. And hey, listen, you be careful around here, okay?
Of course. Thank you, sir. You enjoy your ride.
Yeah, nothing to enjoy about it, but I will. And I just turn around and ride off.
You spend several more days on the trail following the Mississippi, and eventually, as you look over to the right hand side across the river, you see the first signs of civilization that you've seen in years, as a steamboat goes southward on the river, and you see people on there waving at you as you're going by.
I take my hat off. I'm
Yeah. You notice that it's a pretty modern size looking boat, and there's red, white, and blue streamers and bunting on the sides of it. It looks pretty new, and the people on it seem pretty cheerful to see more settlers heading west. You ride for a few more days, and you eventually get to the town of Crosse, which is where the second place you could have crossed over. It's starting to be a booming town now for Wisconsin, probably the second largest city at the time. It's set up in a grid system with many wooden structures, and it's really the first major settlement that you've come across since leaving Chicago so many weeks earlier. Russ Freeman gets with you and with your group and states that if there's any supplies that you need to get, this might be a good spot. But he himself will, and most of the other cowboys will not be going into the city, but would send Sam Baker in as a guide if anyone wanted anything.
Damn, I was hoping to sneak into the city and do a little something, but I guess I won't be. So I'm like hanging outside the city with the rest of the cowpoke.
Get some more bullets.
That's a good idea. Could you give me have Mr. Baker give me some more bullets, please?
He looks at you and says, "You have the currency for this, correct?"
Duh. I just kind of look at my my stash I've been hiding, and I kind of take enough to get the the bullets. Like, here we go.
Yeah. He takes it and passes it over to Samuel. Is there anything or any business that the rest of you might want to have at this pit stop of civilization?
I mean, if it was R&R, I would, but I mean, he's telling me that I gotta stay outside, so you know what I mean, the city, so I am.
Margaret doesn't have anything.
I think Gregory might have just take his family just go around the town a bit, just sort of remind themselves, cities are still a thing.
Yeah, sure. Sam will ride in with you, and do you take all your family, or do you leave anyone behind to watch wagon, or?
That's a good question. I might ask Johan to sort of stand by and watch the wagons a bit. Just Gregory takes his family in there. Can I do that?
Yeah, Johan agrees to watch your wagon for you because it's not an unreasonable request, and he is going to be working for you. So yeah, Samuel basically unloads his saddlebags and rides in empty so he can bring stuff back. But you could take your family on a nice stroll into town. There's a few people who kind of come close and investigate what's going on, but then once they kind of identify that, oh, you're just another wagon train stopping to resupply, their guard is down again. And yeah, so what would you like to do in the town?
I definitely think that he might take them on a leisurely stroll, just down towards, I guess, the downtown. Maybe see if there's some kind of, I don't know, a local, a bandstand or something, some kind of art, some kind of music thingamabob to help remind them, that we're gonna something different than all just the wilderness and the the riverbank that they've been traveling by the last few weeks.
Yeah. So you and your family start walking on the streets of town. Your wife, Samantha, starts indicating what features of various homes that she likes and says, oh, but if you look on the molding on this one, doesn't it just look fabulous, Gregory?
I don't know much about molding, woman. I'll rely on your expertise when it comes to building our own home.
Of course. I do appreciate the trust that you give to me with managing this. And then you're walking along and you hear a piano playing out of one of the local saloons, and your wife kind of smiles and looks at you and says, Gregory, dear, wouldn't it be good if we can maybe take some time for ourselves and just give a couple pennies to the kids and tell them to meet us back here for a bit?
Very well. He'll sort of smile at his wife, and he'll hand a couple of pennies to his children.
Your oldest daughter reaches her hand out to you and takes them.
All right, now I want you to make sure that you don't spend it all on something that'll only last you like candy or something that'll only last you a day. We're going to be here for maybe a few days, and then we got to head on the road back for another few weeks.
As you said that, you noticed your daughter Abigail's eyes quickly dart away from the sweet shop that she was eyeing up.
All right, I know it might seem tempting to have a companion on the road, but we'll have each other for now. So head on down there and enjoy the town. And keep an eye on each other, okay? Don't want you getting trampled by any wagons.
Yes, Father. And Abigail takes the money and says, "Come along, kids." And you see your son, who's actually not much younger than her, and your other daughter, Mary, kind of like they'll kind of walk off and start like, "Oh, look at that!" At some of the strange contraptions that they really haven't seen since Chicago. Your wife, Samantha, kind of puts her arm inside the crook of yours, and the two of you walk into one of the saloons, and there's a piano playing some sort of danceable tune, and she asks if you would like to dance.
I do. Lead her on and dance. You're not gonna make me roll for dancing, are you? Uh-oh, he's looking at the book, dear listeners. I think he's gonna make me roll something.
So dancing is a skill in the base game, but not in the Down Darker Trails supplement. So if you'd like to just make a straight up appeal ×5 roll.
Appeal?
Yeah, your app skill
Oh, I see.
or trait.
All right. I got a 4 out of 45.
The two of you kind of start cutting a rug on the saloon, and she, like, the joy returns to her face after all these long weeks and months on the road, and says, "Oh, Gregory, I can't wait till we can do this every night."
Yeah, it's not too much farther now. I imagine we've already crossed the river, and so it'll just be a few more weeks, and then hopefully we'll be at our new home where our family will live out our whole lives.
You're such a good man. I'm so glad to be here with you.
I'm just glad I found a good woman.
And she smiles as the two of you kind of notice that there's rooms for rent.
And fade to black.
I could not go in and pay for it, but married man gets to walk in there and have a lovely day. How is that fair?
That's because I'm married and my wife ain't dead.
I know, life of a cowboy with a dead wife, a widowee. Is that what it is for a husband?
Widower.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys have been on the road for weeks. So you stop at the outside of the camp and spend the night camped out there, because to be honest, for most people, spending time in town is going to be a drain on resources that they don't have. Samuel Baker comes back with your bullets and a few other items requested by your traveling companions, and dishes those out, and everyone is pretty much ready to get going again the next day. So you take off again northwest, following the Mississippi, and you keep a pretty decent pace as you're traveling along. However, after a couple weeks, could I get some accounting rolls from everyone?
I mean, I got 5% in it. I mean, I'll try. I don't.
Luck might be on your side.
I guess, yeah. Let's see. Oh, Jesus, Quinn.
I got a 3 out of 30.
That's
great.
Hold on.
I need to go to Vegas with Gregory or something. He is just... I'm just getting the best rolls with him.
I did not make mine.
Yeah, I didn't either. I only have a 5 and I got a 7.
Come to me for your financial issues.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's one of those things, Gregory, that you've taken to doing is to like checking on some of the supplies and making sure that things are good as you are making your trip. But one thing you did notice this time, you don't check this all the time, but you do notice that there is this like greenish color in some of the flour.
Is that mold? Or I like you get someone who actually knows some cooking and stuff. Like, is that mold or something in the flour?
Well, your everything cook Samuel Baker and Johan are taking a look, and they're just like shrugging. It's like, oh, it don't look right, but I don't know what that could be.
Well, can we like just scoop out the green parts and leave the rest alone?
That sounds like a good idea. So you do that. You scooped out some of the green parts and package it up real tight. Take care not to let rain or morning dew get to it. And you travel along for a few more weeks. You're starting to get close to parts of Minnesota, and you're noticing that the green has come back, and some of you may or may not feel the best. Can I get con rolls from everyone?
56 out of 60. I barely made it.
9 out of 45. I'm alive and kicking.
3 out of 55, man. Ready to do a marathon. He started everything. He's like, okay, did he get dysentery? Can you give me food poisoning? Next is gout.
As you say that, I did some rolls for some of the NPCs, and it looks like Sister Michael isn't really doing the best right now. She has been trouble keeping down some of her food, and like after looking at it again, you're noticing that the green continues to return to the flour, and I guess the decision is made to dump out the flour and stop eating it. But Gregory, with your excellent accounting skills, you notice that that's not going to be the most useful thing to do, as most of your dinners are bread based.
All right. So yeah, we're sort of starting to taking a hit.
I mean, can't we buy some more flour at the whatever town we passed by, or?
Well, I think we already passed the Crosse, and so I think the only town ahead of us that actually would be big enough for us to buy stuff from would be those St. Paul and whatever the other place is called. I don't remember what the hell it is.
How far are we from there then?
Less than a week, more than a couple days.
All right. I think I don't know. I feel like if we could definitely dump out a lot of maybe we could keep a little bit of the flour and dump out most of it, because we are close by. So
I mean, do we have to have bread with every meal?
well, it keeps it's better than just having watery soup. At least with some like porridge or something, you might have more filling to it. But
I don't. I just like sitting there thinking about it. Like, if the green keeps coming back over again, I don't think any of it's good there, Gregory.
wait, but what's causing the green? Is it? I thought pretty sure we wrapped it up nice and tight and away from any mold or something. So
I'm not educated. Sister Miller, and I'm like motioning for her. I assume we're like standing by we're standing by it right now.
You Brooke learn to know anything about green stuff on flour?
I mean, is it mold?
Green stuff on flour.
I thought mold was more of a bluish color.
I don't know. Like, I just kind of like I imagine I'm all dirty with my cowboy hat in my hand, wiping my forehead off with my handkerchief, just looking at it.
It's certainly some sort of contaminant, but I'm afraid I'm not really well versed in the sciences to know what it is.
You do have natural history.
That actually served me for this?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm rolling.
Roll it.
I know nothing with a 99.
Well, with a botch like that, you figured that you just take away the green part, things would be fine. But talking to Bjorn, Gregory, and most recently Sister Michael, the rest of you kind of noticed that no, it wasn't fine doing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we just cut the losses. But I mean, we don't need the bread. I mean, for 4 days or less than a week, we got meat.
Okay, I guess, yeah, but we could just, rely on those, on whatever we can catch, and maybe a few like canned greens here and there.
I mean, we all got to suffer a little bit to get to paradise.
How will we do communion, though, without bread?
But that's on Sunday, right? Well, we got a week. Hopefully we get there before then, but I'm sure the good Lord would be understanding if we didn't have it, right?
She seems a little, she kind of scrunches up her nose a bit, like she doesn't like that answer, especially since Sister Michael is sick and she feels she could use all the prayer and purity that she could possibly have right now. So she, kind of shrugs and says, as you say, Mr. Hagman, I just hope we don't cut it too close.
Well, in the worst case scenario, we could always just send people out hunting and stuff. It's, there's plenty of wilderness out here. I'm pretty sure we could find something to eat.
I mean, boy, and I like motion for my son, Johan. Johan, come here for a second.
Yes, Father. And Margaret, you would notice at this point, there's no attempt on his part to be putting on a fake American accent.
And I say, I'm like, I motion real quick with my finger, and I look down at him. I speak in Norwegian, and I'm like, hey, how much food do we have left? I mean, we have stuff other than flour-based stuff to eat, right? I'm saying this with no accent because this is his common language.
Let me make a quick roll for his accounting. I mean, we have some beans and some coffee and a little
got
bit of
meat?
the sugar.
Do we got any meat? Like, what do we do for meat? Do they
He
butcher the
kind of
cows?
he kind of looks around at
The cows.
the herd.
Yeah. And I look at them in English. I'm like, we don't have to worry about the meat. They use the cow. We don't have to go hunting. I mean, it's just talk about having beans and coffee and meat. I just gotta like shrug.
Oh, won't be pleasant company for a few days, but I think we can definitely go tighten our belts for a bit.
Have you smelled me? Like, I'm not pleasant company right now. Like, have I even washed myself since we last crossed the river?
When we were traveling by the river, can't you just get a bucket and dump it on yourself?
I'm too busy. I just kind of like to say that as I turn around and ride off my horse, back to work. He's so exhausted, where you're like too tired to even wash your ass. I don't know if you guys ever been in that situation before. You're just so tired, like, I'll just do it tomorrow, and you just go to sleep.
Chris, what the hell?
Army times, that's all I'm saying.
All right. So the plan is to try to like double time it and try to just push on to the city and hopefully get there without having
it's Mr. Freeman's call. I'm going to shoot the idea to Mr. Freeman, I guess, seeing that or Gregory, I assume, would probably be the best person since he's the one.
Yeah, Gregory would definitely be like, it's only a few days away from the next town. So it'd be like, a couple, maybe, go hungry for a day or two, but we'll be fine.
Well, I would prefer not to slaughter my retirement.
All right, then I'll send somebody with hunting to get whatever animals we can get or something. Send some people right ahead to bring back some food or something. There's all kinds of ways around this.
That could work.
All right.
So, being a player character, Bjorn is voluntold to go scout ahead and get hunting if he can do it. If not, you're asked to proceed along to the Twin Cities and report back with some food in due haste. So from you, Bjorn, I'm going to need a ride horse roll.
Okay.
And from the rest of you who are just planning on drudging along, I'm going to need some constitution rolls as you're basically going with only like half rest and trying to push through so you can close the distance. Actually, let's have Bjorn do a survival roll instead of ride horse.
Okay.
See if you can get hunting first.
All right, give me a second here. I only have 10% survival, so let me go ahead and roll it.
And the rest you said constitution?
Oof. I failed my survival roll.
Yes, the constitution with the rest. And failing your survival roll, Bjorn, you're not able to find like any like hunting within a decent amount of time, so you probably decide to cut your losses and proceed forward with plan B.
And Gregory failed his constitution roll.
Well, Monica, you appear to be fine, but Gregory, the hunger is getting to you at this point, and like you've probably been foregoing meals of your own to kind of give them to your kids, as being the father figure you are. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
So, like, what have you been doing to kind of keep from like passing out in the cart?
Yeah, so I definitely think well, he as soon as he still got some coffee, he probably just have a thing of coffee next to him and just like try to ignore that how it sort of just how the liquid just sort of sits uneasily in his stomach every time he drinks it.
Yeah, I think it works for you like as a short term, but as soon as like the kind of caffeine high goes away and you have nothing in you to keep it up, you feel like even more terrible the rest of the day.
So yeah, he is not feeling the best right now.
All right. Bjorn, how is let's have a ride horse roll to see if good a time you're making.
29 out of 50.
All right. So there's no real impediments, but it still takes you several days because you still have to stop and sleep for a couple hours each day, but it takes you like a couple days to actually get into the Twin Cities, and you're able to load up on some like provisions, some flour with the money that Russ gave you, and you don't really spend a whole lot of time in the city because like basically a couple hours, give your horse a rest, feed and water them, and rest yourself, maybe have a beer or two and head back basically. But it's still going to be like you're thinking at least a day until you can get back with the supplies. So let's have a party luck roll for Gregory and Margaret to represent the luck of the party who's still on the trail.
So lowest goes or both of us roll?
Lowest out of the two of you.
So that's Margaret.
45. Okay.
I have a 90, remember? And I'm saving that luck for when the shooting starts.
Such a braggart. Oof. 83
Oh no.
out of 45.
Yeah.
There goes our food.
You quickly burn through the rest of the coffee and the beans. Apparently, Johann had overestimated what you have, and now the choice of waiting for Bjorn to get back with supplies or basically slaughtering the cowboy's retirement is a bit more pressing now.
So yeah, I think at some point, like Bjorn, Gregory would have gotten like a bit like a leather, like maybe like a bit of like a belt or something, and just started chewing on it just to give his mouth something to do.
Damn, you motherfuckers are some non-hunting survivalist motherfuckers, man. Jesus.
Gregory, he grew up in Chicago. What kind of hunting has he done?
Rats. Not just playing.
What rats are there in the wagon trail?
Gophers. They're prairie rats. That's what we call them. I'm joking.
Yeah. Gregory,
They're way south of here.
Gregory, just looking around you as you're kind of like biting on your own clothing, you see like your wife is just like kind of like sitting, like bobbing her head. You see your son. He's probably doing the best out of all of you, but he's still like his eyelids keep going back and up and down. And your daughter Mary kind of crawls out from the back of the cabin to kind of sit between you and your wife and says, "Daddy, I'm hungry."
Yeah, don't worry. It won't last much longer. Someone will be back with food, and then after that, we'll reach town, and we can load up on supplies again. It's like the Bible says. We just gotta suffer a little bit before we get on to the best part.
But why would God make us suffer? Doesn't He love us?
Well, think of it this way: if you ever had sweets for your life, how would you know what's good and what's bad if you just only have the same thing?
I would really like some sweets right now.
So would I. Don't worry. I'll make sure to get you a little something when we reach the next town. And so right now, Gregory, he is doubting a little bit of the doubt in his back of his head about, the whole move plan is a little bit there, but he is trying to just, okay, it's not the worst so far. It's definitely not going great right now, but, it could be a lot worse in his head.
Margaret, you're making your rounds as you're stopped for the night and just checking on various things with the rest of the caravan. And you kind of notice that you haven't really talked to Sister Michael lately. And she has actually been taking up your usual spot of curling up in the wagon behind the bell.
Sister Margaret would take a break from whatever she's doing. I imagine by now the hunger pangs have her kind of shaking a bit, but she's still kicking. So she's going to go towards the wagon to check on Sister Margaret. Not that she has anything to offer, but at least to pray over her.
And as you do, you see kind of like she was a pretty plump lady to begin with, but she's like looking much smaller now. And she's like, you're seeing like the habit is kind of like, it's like hiding her shape a lot more than normally would, but it's kind of like you notice how much weight she's lost, and you see her breath's really shallow and her lips are chapped at this point. And I'm not going to make you roll right now to tell that she's not doing very good at all.
Sister Margaret's feeling a little bit scared by this. She's been trying to be optimistic for everyone and, doing the thing where she says it's all part of God's plan. But it's times like these that have her, really questioning how good and pure God is, if he can have one of his most faithful people just suffering like this. So she sits down next to her. She puts her hand on her hip, and she notices that she can feel just the pelvic bone, whereas before she was such a meaty woman that, at least for Sister Margaret, hugging her would barely have her hands meeting on the other side kind of thing. So now she's faced with just how skeletal she's become. So she kind of pats her hip comfortingly and says, "It's just a bit more. I'm sure they'll come back any moment now. We'll have something to eat. Perhaps we'll have some medicine with us. Just hang in there, Sister Michael. The Lord has a plan for you. This is not your time."
And you see her eyes open and then just shut, but she doesn't really have the strength to really say anything or smile.
If you like the style and feel of Missouri Crossing, then you'll like Diluted. Set in 1848, Diluted follows a coterie who have set themselves to find out who is behind a mysterious tonic that plagues the kindred society of Victorian England.